guest to this press briefing. For want of time, I'll just simply introduce Comrade Prince Dr. Adeyonju Adewale, President General Maritime Workers of Nigeria. And through him, I also would like to greet the national executives of my own, district chair presidents and unit chair presidents. On that note too, I'd like to introduce Comrade Dr. Aki Bondude, President of SSASCGOC. And through him, I also like to welcome the SSASCGOC Executive Chair President, unit, and all other officials here present. Members of the press, we also welcome you to this occasion. Thank you very much. Now,
hereby alert the general public to the renewed attempt by the National Assembly to sneak the Port and Harbour Bill into legislation through the back door. The bill, which was either initiated by honorable member of the 8th National Assembly, was passed for becoming law through the intervention of well-meaning Nigerians, stakeholders, and the extended effort of the two house unions, Maun and SSASCGOC, who mutually and strongly affirmed their opposition towards the proposed Ellis bill. We wish to note that this bill, if allowed to be passed into law, we have far-reaching grave consequences on the security of the nation as it proceeded to harbour, jetty and terminal operations into private hands. We are therefore not surprised that this bill is being vigorously sponsored by unpatriotic individuals within the maritime sector who are hell-bent on appropriating our common wealth and consigning same into the lining of their individual pockets and that of their cronies. We would have thought that given our persistent cries and various notices pointing to the deplorable state of our various Asian seaports, the strip state of port access road, collapsing quay aprons, and general failure of infrastructure within our ports, the focus of this 10th National Assembly will have been to find solution to this myriad of problems bedeviling our ports, terminals, jetties and oil and gas, platform, and even the need to dredge all the ports, particularly Calabar ports, Warri, Onne, and so on and so forth, for increased efficiency, and not to clandestine and reckless seek to misappropriate public infrastructure through unfriendly legislation for the benefit of individuals whose only interest is capital accumulation and not general public good of all. We are even further surprised that the sponsor of this bill actually ignored our demand to call the International Oil Company, as IOCs, operating within our sovereign territory economic zones, who have snobbishly refused to obey our extant maritime regulations, standard and law to order. Find it expedient to sit in the comfort of their hallowed chambers to push for law that will determine instrumental and inimical to the welfare and well-being of the working class Nigeria and our national security and sovereignty. The Joint House Union, Maun and SSASCGOC, use this period to convey our belief to the Executive, National Assembly, and the new Minister of Marine and Blue Economy that this is certainly not the right way to go, as this ploy by these selfish individuals in the maritime sector will cause chaos and anarchy in the industry, which has enjoyed sustained peace since the idea of projecting the House bill was killed in 2018, will not be allowed to come to fruition. We know that the bill has been proposed, if passed into law, will render the Nigeria Port Authority employees jobless and endanger their productivity of other port users. Even more sinister is the proposed idea of the bill to provide wholly an employment that will not be personable, as well as that as not transferable and without access to terminal benefits. It is the end of considerations by the opponents of the bill to the right of workers to the necessary payment of for service rendered by worker in accordance to law, industrial relation practice, equity, and good conscience. It is our belief that following this bill to be passed into the law, effectively institutionalize the evil concept of casualization of workers, as well as negate the provision of the Pension Reform Act of 2004 as amended. These indirect contracts to the AFAO promise of Mr. President Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu GFR to ensure the provision of about 5 million jobs for Nigerians through the newly created Ministry of Marine and Economy. I want to pause here where the senior staff president will take over from the last people of our president.
Having said this, we, the two in-house unions in the maritime sector, Mahou and SSASCGOC, will not fold our hand or rest on our oar and allow few of patriotic Nigerians within the industry to rip off the nation's commonwealth and render our sector unproductive via this infamous bill that will only create poverty, hopelessness, hunger, generate heavy bitterness among the already impoverished workers and Nigerian citizens. On this note, the Maritime Worker Union of Nigeria, MAU, and Senior Staff Association of Statutory Company and Government-owned Company, Maritime Branch, SSASCGOC, unequivocally reject the bill, seeking to repeal the act that set up Nigerian Port Authority (NPA) in its entirety. Consequently, we confirm our absolute vote of confidence on the Nigerian Port Act as it correctly relates to the Nigerian state and the well-being of the workers in this sector, and we will vehemently resist any attempt to push this heavy bill further. We therefore demand for its withdrawal in its entirety. As addendum, we wish to further draw the attention of the federal government to the duplication of functions of MDA within the maritime sector. To this end, we urge the government to define clearly the function of each government agency to avoid unnecessary conflicts and functions. Also, there is need to ensure that the appointment of the leadership of the headship of these agencies are technocrats, vast in maritime operations, in congruence with the laid down law in Nigeria, signed by Comrade Prince Dr. Adeyanju Adebowale, Adewale FNIN, President General, Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, and Comrade Akimbodunde, President, SSASCGOC Maritime Branch. Thank you and God bless you. Like the first question you raised concerning the issue of job loss, it is true. It happened to us in 2006 when the government came that they want to privatize or concession the port, that after the concessioning it will generate about 100,000 jobs. But to tell you today, all the terminal operators put it together, I think they have less than 2,000 workforce. And we lost about 12,000 workers in 2006. Now if anybody is saying it will not lead to job loss, it is not true. It will surely lead to that. That's to answer your question on the issue of job loss. And you know, they have the PG, we talk about that on the Owerri issue, but Owerri issue will come later. On the implication of the bill, please, We know what happened during the Oka coup. Some of us here will remember what happened. That the ammunition they use enter through Cocoa terminal in Warri, because that place was owned by Okoro himself. And what we are saying here is this: if you give operation, terminal operation, bringing the ship in and out of the port to a private individual, the security situation in Nigeria will not be guaranteed. A lot of things are coming in and out of Nigeria when we still have even government officials there. In a situation you don't have government officials in all these places, what do you think will happen? There are a lot of ammunition in Nigeria that are coming in through the port and even through the land border. The custom are trying, a lot of people will discover a lot of ammunition in the port last year. We are seeing there. In a situation you want it over to a private individual, you cannot guarantee that. And secondly, it will shortchange the government, because that is where the dollars is coming in, and that is the interest of the politician. And that is the interest that if they can get this, they will use it to build up their power, getting more money and shortchanging the Nigerian masses. Because the money we are talking about is not our money, it's the collective resources for Nigeria, about 250 million people. But some people want to adapt it and put it in their pocket and shortchange the system. And that's what we are saying no to. It's not even the issue of we working, but we are trying to salvage this country to the generation coming behind us. Because we fail to fight this fight, and we fail to carry out this thing, we will suffer it. The generation coming will ask us questions. I think that's the reason why we are making this noise for now. Thank you.
To still add my voice on the implication. Nigerian Ports Authority is a national asset. All over the world, the port is run and managed by government. And that is why you have Port of Belgium, Port of Antwerp, are assigned to the name of the nation. So Nigeria cannot afford to lose a national asset to individual hand. I just want to add this, that if that happens, Nigeria will thus set an example of a nation that have lost its viable asset. This is a port that serves at the door, the main opening to nation's economy. Like he said, we are trying to move the dollar that will accrue to the government to individual pocket. And so we stand and continue to say no to this obnoxious bill. Thank you.
The obnoxious bill is what we have started today. We will go out there to meet all our stakeholders for this awareness. And that is why we cannot do it without the voice of the press. So you are part of the critical stakeholders who will champion this cause along with us. We struggled together on this on the last 8th assembly. We still need your commitment to still support this fight. It's the fight that belongs to all Nigerians. It's not the fight that belongs to union. All of us know this fight because somebody somewhere is preparing to kill Nigerians and to survive on this bill. And that's why we are crying that let's say the whole world that the Maritime Workers of Nigeria and the senior staff will not fold his hands and allow somebody from somewhere to come and introduce what we believe are the what? Killed. But since that bill has not been killed properly, I think we have started the process of killing it properly. And that's why we are here this morning. The organs have spoken, the president has spoken well on this matter. But to me, when they say gateway to Nigeria economy, is the port. After the oil, because oil is gone, can Nigeria be importing fuel when we have refinery in our country? Where's our refinery? So we want the new Mr. President to make sure that our refinery has been put in place so that we can stop this importing of fuel all the time. Even when you look at the quality of the fuel imported to this country, is zero. compared with our own. So I think, Mr. President, during this campaign period, we have what he said about turning Nigeria port to a model port all over the world. And I believe with this, that somebody somewhere else is trying to what? Brought in what we believe it has been killed, and make sure that they do not only sign this bill, that is not even near the Aso Rock with the bill. Thank you. Anyway, since everybody wants me to comment on Fiesto, I will only speak on the solidarity for Maritime Workers from Nigeria, as well as Deputy President of NS. You all are aware we have issued a press statement regarding to what happened in Owerri. And there's no how I'm still going to what? Contradict the press statement that have been issued out by the Congress. What I can only add to it is that what is not good is not good. What they have done to our leader in Owerri is an embarrassment to labor movement. It has never happened in the history of this great union, Nigeria Labour Congress, where a leader, number one worker that was democratically elected by his workers, can be subjected to an act of embarrassment. They blindfolded the old man as if the man is a slave in his own state. Fortunately, the state belongs to him. That is where he comes from. When you say a governor who is supposed to be number one security officer and is not number one terrorist, that's where I'm going to use it, because he has no regard for human being. And the governors will remember that there's nothing like a permanent governor. What he used to have at the back of his mind is former governor, where most of this impunity that he's enjoying today will no longer be there. He become a free citizen, like every one of us. Because that state house belongs to Nigerians. It's not for him, you know. And Nigeria, all of us are Nigeria. So what they have meted to labor leaders in Imo State is nothing to write home about. It's uncalled for. And anytime from now, you're going to see the action the Nigeria Labour Congress will take on this matter. Thank you. Well, I want to... You heard the press release by Congress. All our demands are there. And part of it is what I think the IG of police must have done by way of removing the Commissioner of Police of Imo State. Just wait. Between now and Wednesday, you will see the reactions coming from NLs, because we have the highest organ who will rectify this strike we're talking about, that is NEC. We're meeting on Tuesday, that is tomorrow, and Wednesday. So you're going to hear from us. There's no, I'm going to preempt the decision of NEC that have not been led. So let's don't preempt the decision of the NEC that is here to sit on this matter. It is a serious matter, because I think injury to one is injury to all. And the Maritime Workers of Nigeria, we condemn the acts. We condemn the act. If they can do that to number one worker, that means all of us are not safe in the hands of security agents that supposed to protect the rights of every citizen. And what the Commissioner of Police in Imo State did was to introduce what we call an anarchy. Because he's not behaving like a professional policeman. And if the IG, who happened to be number one, felt that there's need for him to be what? Removed, because those are our demands. That man, for peace to reign in Imo State, the guy must what? Be removed. And I think they have done that. But the other aspects that have to do with the welfare of the workers that made labor to be in Imo State are yet to be addressed by the governor of Imo State. So it's part of our demand. where salary of the workers, their pensions, their gratuity was not paid for 20 months or 30 months. I think those are the things the Labour Congress is talking about. It's not about Ajero, it's about the fundamental human rights of all the workers of that state. Ajero was elected. He can as well say, well, I'm not interested in going to Imo State, because that Imo State belongs to him. But from where he came from, he believed charity begins at home. And that is what he did. So nobody should blame Ajero because we are hearing some people say he went there without this. No, it's about the welfare of the people in that state, where the workers cannot express themselves because the government have already padlocked their mouth. So, and somebody said, no, you must open their mouth because they are suffering. And there's no I'm going to continue with this kind of suffering. Even the press are not safe in the hands of these politicians anymore. Because we know what happened to some of the press in Imo State, where they subjected them to harassment and embarrassment with handcuffs in their hands. It's as bad as that. So the press should not sleep. While the Labour too are making effort to criticize this bad governance, the press should equally wake up, because injury to one is injury to all. What happened to some of your colleagues over there is God has saved them. It's like a dog going to lion's house. That is how Imo State is now, in the hands of Usodima. I don't know the name of Usodima, but I know him to be a tiger of Imo State now, who have no regard for human beings. Thank you.